Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's fantastic to see you all here, to see your faces. We're very excited about being able to share this with you. One of the things that we really wanted to do with this project was to ensure that we shared best practice, or shared what we think is best practice, with our community, with other practitioners, but also to get your feedback and to find out from you whether what you feel about the project that we're beginning and where you feel we should go next. But we've got a lot of things we want to tell you about first. I'm going to hand over to Jim to say hello as well, and then we'll introduce ourselves properly.
Yeah. Well, yes, hello. I mean, not too much to add. We're here to share our learning through this project, get some ideas from you about what we might do next. We want to make this as inclusive as possible, and we're on a learning journey. So we have someone who's going to do captions. So we want to record this session so that anyone with a visual impairment or hard of hearing this can be accessible for them. So we want to make it meaningful, but just to say we are learning. In fact, I only learned like half an hour ago about captioning and how it all works. But I think we're going to Vicky, do you want to say hello?
Hello. So I'll be talking about this a bit later, but yes, just welcome everybody, and it's lovely to see you all. So thank you for coming.
What we should do really is introduce ourselves as a team, and we are going to practice our visual description as well to be fully inclusive. We're very new to this. It feels slightly uncomfortable, but we really want to give this a go. So I'm describing myself, but I'm Darren. I am a middle-aged British man of Israeli descent, Middle Eastern descent, with dark hair and a grey beard, and I have a lot of purple flowers in the background behind me. And I'm one of the co-founders of this project. We are called the One World Orchestra, but our first project is called Songs from Home. So we'll be using both of those terms as we speak. Jim, I'm going to hand over to you.
Yeah. I'm Jim Pinchin. I'm white British, wearing a white shirt. My background is blurred out. I have shaved head and facial hair.
My name is Vicky Balen. I'm a white British woman, still in my 40s. I'm sitting in front of a chaotic bookshelf with a painting of a swallow on a sunshine yellow background. I'm co-founder and producer.
Hi, I'm Tasha. I do the website and the social media. I am a young white British woman wearing a black t-shirt with my hair in a bun in front of a pink poster on a white background.
Fantastic. Let's start by describing and talking about this project. Why have we brought you all here together? The One World Orchestra, as we are called as a collective, was an idea that I had initially a couple of years ago. Jim and I have been working for many years together in inclusive music making, particularly within the field of conflict and post-conflict, and for the last 7 or 8 years, very much within the field of displacement, working with people who are going through the refugee experience. And a lot of our work is very much around community making and working with musicians who may not be professional musicians, who may be picking up an instrument for the first time. And that's wonderful, meaningful work. But actually, both Jim and I are professional musicians ourselves, and we really had a hankering to do something that had a different quality to it, to experience some music making, inclusive, diverse music making, but of a high quality and of a high standard. Because we think that these worlds really do fit together. And so the idea was, how could we create a new professional level, high quality music ensemble for the UK that reflected the cultural diversity of this country. So all of the people who are here right now, who may have come from other places originally, but who are now calling the UK their home, living and working here. And we had a very specific group of people that we wanted to work with, not just top quality musicians. And you'll see as we start to share our music and talk about our artists, is that everyone is a top quality musician, but also because we want to work inclusively and bring the spirit of community building and inclusion into our music making, we wanted to ensure that everybody we worked with also had a background in inclusive practice and were workshop leaders themselves. So our entire ensemble is made up of quality musicians who also know how to include other people in music making. And that's been a great joy in the work that we've done together in the 5 days that we've had together so far. Obviously, another backdrop to this work is Brexit. I think many of us were distressed at the being cut off from the rest of the world somehow culturally with what's happened over the last few years here in the UK. And we wanted to do something that really showcased how amazing it is to be a diverse culture and to have people coming in from different places and to showcase what it means to be British in the UK today, because we are this melting pot. We're a cultural melting pot. We're a musical melting pot. We're an edible melting pot. Food also comes into this as well for all of us. So this is another example of what we want to do. And we want to really take this to the highest level we possibly can to show how just the quality that we can have from people who are arriving in our country and mixing with us today. Jim, I'm going to hand over to you to talk about music.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting, hopefully, just to share a little bit about the musical process. So we had, now I can't remember, I think we had 18 people in the group.
16.
How many?
16.
16. So, and we had people coming in on different days. But like Darren said, it would have been fairly easy just to approach amazing musicians representing different genres and different cultures. But we approach people that we know that already have an inclusive way of working and can bring that into the creative space. So we knew that also we wanted to create a piece of meaningful music. So we looked at what those kind of what are the ingredients, what are the musical ingredients of those groups. So for example, we had percussion, we had strings, we had some music technology, and we had vocals. I mean, those were like the key kind of ingredients. We reached out to people that we thought could bring something creative musically, but also that would be really nice to work with. And actually to have 16 musicians in the room, there was actually very, very little ego. And I think that's about, we sharing this approach, which is about everyone having space to be creative and to be heard and to be listened to. And to sort of see what grew out of that. So we had a first day which was looking at vocals and singing, and people came and shared songs, and everyone had space to talk a little bit about what was their musical home. And this theme of home, which is why the project was called Songs from Home, was really the thread that ran through everything. So we had a first day of lots of singing, and then we had a day of strings. So we looked at we had a flamenco guitarist. We had Rakad, who's here. Nice to see you, Rakad. Bringing viola and music from Syria and the Middle East. And then I'm going to start to forget people. And then we had Zangi, a guitarist. And so we had a concentration on strings and chords and songs. And actually, by the end of that first day, we had already generated so much ideas and musical content. And then on the final day, we brought in the rhythms. We brought in rhythms, and we had Valeria, who's here. Hi, Valeria, bringing her amazing alegría drum from Colombia, and we had someone with beats and technology, and we just did a lot of sharing, and then gradually went through a process to put a cohesive piece of music together, which you're going to hear quite soon. I think from here, because there's quite a lot to get through, it'd be really nice for you to hear a little bit from each member of the group. So we've Floyd, who's not on this call, is an incredible filmmaker, and he was with us throughout the whole journey, actually, and he's made a beautiful documentary that is quite long, so we can't play that now, but we've put together a few clips of some of the interviews, so you get to hear from some of those musicians. I think Darren's got it all queued up, ready to go. Fantastic.
Can people see that? Can people see the screen?
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, just the black.
One moment. This would make it easier. Let me stop that. Okay. And now? It says my screen sharing. Hold on, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. It says my screen sharing is paused. I think that is because I've been sharing sounds.
That's not, no, it's not doing it. Shall I try it from this end?
That's very odd. Yes, please.
Let me make sure I don't do the full 1 hour documentary. Okay. Let's try this. Optimize video clip, as Kathy says.
Thanks, Kathy. There we go.
So my name's Liz Ikamba, and my musical specialism is mainly vocals. I play guitar and a bit of bass and percussion as well. My heritage is dual heritage, Congolese, DRC and UK.
My name is Edith Wewutonga, others call me Mama Bass. I come from Zimbabwe, born of Malawian origin parents.
My name is Rakat Haddad. I am from Syria and I play viola.
My name's Jo White. I was born in the south of England, raised in the northwest of England, and now live just near Brighton in the beautiful South Downs. Primarily I'm an accordionist, that's what I've done for most of my life. I like to do other stuff too, but that's what I'm kind of here with. I love the concept of it, of finding our musical homes and that rippling out to help many other people find their musical home as well.
My name is Valeria Pacific and I am from Colombia. I play the alegre, which is a skin drum, and it is used in a lot of Afro-Colombian traditions. I think we're creating something amazing together. I'm really in love with everything that happened today.
I'm Sudhi. I'm from India. A state called Kerala, very south of India. Mostly I play tabla, or I play congos, or djembe.
Hi, my name is Tame. This is a short name. The whole name is Tame Razgogidze Jonizze, so better Tame. Basically, I'm Ukrainian and I'm Georgian.
I'm Sarah Karusi. I'm playing the violin. British born to Iranian parents, so I'm British Iranian.
Hi, my name is Fergus Payton. I am British born and I play flamenco guitar.
I'm Amanda Koja Gillespie. I'm originally from the United States in Pennsylvania, but I lived all over the US, and I now live in Derry, Northern Ireland. I'm a brass and woodwind specialist, so I play tuba, flute, saxophone, clarinet, a little bit of trombone.
My name is Saeed Silbaq. I'm a Palestinian composer, oud player, singer. I also lead musical workshops and I write music for theater and film. I loved the fact that the people came from so many different cultures to meet in a space where they can, first of all, represent their culture if they choose to, while being themselves, and being part of the process, sharing something from that culture with the whole group, which was a fantastic group of people and amazing musicians.
And keep going on as it goes, but there is something I don't know. There is something I don't know, and that is how to finish. I don't know how to finish.
The thing that I've loved the most is just how much love there is in the room. Like, it's a bunch of people, many of whom haven't met before. There is just so much smiling and joy.
One thing I think has been just the coming together of everybody and how open people have been to make music and share their music together. I think it's been a definite highlight for me.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one thing. I've cried a lot. I don't know if you noticed in this project. There's something very emotional and it's been hitting the heartstrings. Hearing people being so open and honest and creating music in such a humble way. Very, very touching.
I'm feeling very positive. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward for tomorrow, sharing our music with all these flavors from around the world.
So it's slightly different than playing in a big venue or pubs. So I feel really connected because I am also an immigrant. I have also gone through lots of difficulties in the past. So I feel like I'm sharing music with like-minded people and connecting with all the fellow musicians from kind of similar experience.
I think the main word in that is hope. Darren and Jim are trying to do is create a family. This is it, you know? Wow, this is a non-verbal language is solving so many problems.
I think Songs from Home speaks to everybody, everywhere in the world, as each one comes from a space that we call home, wherever that is.
Simba, Simba, Simba Gacheri. Simba, Simba, Simba Gacheri.
So hopefully that gives you a flavour of, you know, the breadth of the amazing musicians that we got to work with. I have to say that there's a few people not on that video that we just want to mention. I mentioned Floyd before. He put that video together and a larger video and a music video. Abe, I'll let you introduce yourself if you're happy to do so. But Abe worked with us producing the audio and he did an incredible job. And we're a lot of musicians with a lot of very different musical instruments, from really loud darbukas to very quiet ouds. And Abe had this big mixing desk that only started working maybe like 5 minutes before we started recording. So he did an amazing job. Abe, just as you're here, do you want to just say hello?
Yeah, hello everybody. Hi. I wasn't expecting to speak, but
sorry.
I'm just going to dip in. Yeah, it was such a wonderful project to be involved in, and just the breadth of sounds from this collection of musicians was an amazing thing. And it's actually quite unique to have that variety of instruments. And like Jim says, there's even just thinking about volume, from the quietest things to the loudest things, but also the different tones of the instruments, bright sounds, soft sounds, percussion, the strings. It was, you know, it was a really special collective. From a technical point, it was quite challenging, but I embraced that and really enjoyed doing it. And I think what's come out of it is a testament to what people put into it, and everyone who was part of the group really fully engaged in it and put their hearts and souls into it. And as from a producer's point of view, I couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Thanks, Abe. Sorry to put you on the spot, and amazing, beautiful words just without any preparation. Thanks. We also had Orly, who was the pianist, and I do a lot of work with Orly. She works in high secure units. She works in hotel settings with me, and she's just an incredibly beautiful, kind, human with just an incredible gift of turning a hand to multiple music genres. We had Max, who brought in beats and technology, who's not on the call today, but he's offers something completely different. A really interesting musician. He does a lot of work in prisons and with children who are known to the police and justice system, that kind of thing. Zangi, you're here if you want to say hello.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I've just been told to say hello, so I'll say hello.
Okay, so Zangi also brings amazing songs from Kenya and stories, and just on the spot will just create songs and get everyone participating. He led a session at our final event, and we had, I mean, Darren spoke earlier about the benefits to the community, and one particular image is in my mind is someone from one of the asylum hotels with very, very prominent facial tattoos, sitting next to an elderly white lady playing drums together. And there are just many beautiful connections like that happen through the project. And I think that is most of the team, actually. Darren, unless you want to add anything.
Yeah, just something to say. I mean, the setup of the project itself is that we had 5 days together, and as Jim said, we grew over the period of time. We gathered a team of 5, what we called our core artists, who were bridging every day. So we had a core team that was able to take songs that were produced on one day and kind of bridge into the next day. So we had that kind of continuum going. But actually, as an ensemble, we weren't all together in a room until the Thursday, which is the 4th day of the project. And then on the Friday afternoon, we performed to an audience of about 80 people that were comprised of, we were situated in Broadfield Community Centre, which is right in the centre of Crawley, in actually one of the most deprived parts of Crawley, which is important for us to be there. There were lots of people from the local community and lots of people that we invited in from local hotels that are housing asylum seekers at the moment, places where Jim is working with his team, and we'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. Many people, some people who I can see on the call who were coming in from professional organisations and potential partners, NHS, Home Office, at Glyndebourne, who are here today with us. So real mix of different people in the room. But in terms of us as an ensemble actually bringing the work together, we had a day and a half as an entire group of 16, with Abe and Floyd kind of also around with us as well. So it was, we worked incredibly fast, and it's a testament to the incredible skill and generosity of all the artists who are involved that the result is as wonderful as it is. I mean, there are many things that there are levels that we can go further with this, we know, but the music we're going to share with you was created in those 5 days and performed live in front of a live audience who were co-creating and participating with us, which is another big part of the work that we want to do that we'll talk about afterwards. Jim, I think, is it time to watch the music video?
Yeah, so I'll play the video, and then Vicky's going to give some thoughts about our next steps, and then we know so many of you on this call. We would love an opportunity for you to tell us what you think we could do and how we might work together. So hopefully there'll be some time for that as well at the end. So for now, I shall share this.
Yeah.
استعطيها صباح الصباح فتحي عليك والجيب ما فيه شي ولا ملي بس المزاج رايق وسليم باب الامل بابك يا رحيم الصبر طيب عالي غير الاحوال ده اللي معاه المال برضه الفقير له رب كريم برضه الفقير له رب كريم
So this has been a project we've been dreaming about for years, and it's so exciting to see it actually happening. And all of us that was involved in that week in Crawley were amazed at the depth of this work, both in terms of the art and also the human connections that we had. So I just want to take an opportunity to say thank you to Arts Council England, Alliance for Better Care, Farnham Maltings, Broadfield Community Centre, and the community support groups doing such a great work in Crawley with the refugees, asylum seekers and displaced communities. We just can't thank you all enough for the support that you gave us, and also for everybody that came along to the performance to support us as well. Just thank you so much. For those of you who know that I'm fascinated by the richness that comes from diversity, the richness that comes from the integration of differences, and how the craft and mechanisms of integration results in something greater together than the sum of the individual parts. So I'm not a musician by trade. Sometimes I feel a little bit like an outsider peering through the windows of this curious art form. In my previous life, I founded Stopgap Dance Company, a company of people who are with and without disabilities, and we explored two main questions. How could we integrate honestly and authentically to create incredible art? And could this be a living working model that proves to society that integration really does work? And we discovered that this approach wasn't about compromise. This was about honest integration, which created a strong team with ambition and compassion. And I didn't dare dream that I would be lucky enough to embark on another adventure with a similar set of values and a desire to change the world for the better. And yet here I am, slightly out of my depth as I venture into another art form, but thoroughly enjoying applying the learning that I gathered from Stopgap to help sculpt the ambitions and the artistic direction of and development of this amazing project. One where we are seeking to integrate music theory, technique, culture, to create a new sonic identity that celebrates all of us who live in this country and call the UK home. So the future, as well as the ideas that you might have and that we're eager to hear, these are some of our ideas. We are now seeking funding to make more of our dreams come true. Funding to spend time together, to develop how we work together and create a body of work to record and to release and to perform in a range of settings, with displaced communities at the heart of communities, to venues, festivals known for their glorious music programming. Funding to continue to develop our work in community, particularly with displaced communities, and for this work to inform our art, and for our art to inform this work with our communities. We want to discover more about how our community work can feature integration of us as a team, us with our community, integration of the host communities and those who have just arrived, as happened with our project in Crawley. Funding to develop how we present work, so we create and perform in the heart of communities, as well as high profile gigs in the heart of where people are displaced and where they're living and where they're integrating into the community. For us to develop our craft around co-creating with our audience and how we can engage with them before, during and after the performance, and funding to support the growth of this sector, create a network for shared practice and partnership building, find funding for training musicians within our team to deliver this work, and also where possible find platforms for recently displaced musicians to have the opportunity to join us on specific projects, because we want to secure partnerships with like-minded people and organisations. We want to work collaboratively and support others doing similar great work. And for example, next month we have the honour of being guests of the Citizen of the World Choir at their performance at Barbican, which we're incredibly excited about. And we're in discussions with local and international partners, and we're in discussions with cross-sector partners, including those who helped us with this project. And we want to perform a lot, and we want to change the world for the better. And we really hope that you will travel with us on this adventure, and any support and advice is always welcome. Thank you. Jim, shall I hand over to you or Darren?
Well, either and or, I think. So we just, thanks, Vicky. You can hear that she's the voice of reason in our trio, and reason and clarity always. So we just wanted to, because we've worked with many of you. I can see Lena shying away from the camera there. So Lena, yourself included, and Jeremy and Kathy, and so many people on this call, and Abby, where we really started the journey of this work, some of this outreach work in Surrey. And we just wanted to have, and of course, Laura and Tina and everyone else. I'm always bad for missing people out. And we just wanted to ask your opinion. What was your thoughts, some immediate comments? Vicky's outlined our ambitions. Is there other things we could be thinking about that we could be doing? What's your kind of initial thoughts of what you've heard so far? And you can unmute or put some ideas in the chat, and we can have a friendly discussion, and we will take these ideas away and digest them and build them into our next steps.
Lena, go ahead.
I just can't waste this opportunity to say thank you for everything you've done. It's been absolutely brilliant. So for people that don't know us, we're from the health team that respond to the hotels, and we're so conscious that we can do so much, but actually we need to turn to partners like yourself, and you've executed music and the relief that brings brilliantly. It's uplifted refugees and asylum seekers. It's actually uplifted the staff as well. And I suppose you've been so successful, so it's about spreading it and bringing other partners along. So today I spoke to somebody, and this is terrible because I can't remember her name, but from Robin Hood. So this is about creative arts. I think Jim's got a conversation lined up. So whatever we can do to broaden out that offer and expand that offer, you know, there's a lot of, I imagine there's a lot of compatibility between creative arts and this stuff. You know, this stuff is absolutely gold, where you go into a community and bring people together. And the reason I kept sharing my screen is because we've just got 2 social prescribers that have joined our team, Jared and Beth, and we hope that they can also link in with you as well. But just keep going, because it's been brilliant, and it's a journey we certainly want to be part of.
Thank you so much. I think that's an important cue to reference the work that Jim and the team around Jim have been doing for the last kind of year or so. Sarah's here on the call is very, very much part of that team, kind of leading a group of her own. And Rahad has been a very big part of that. Jim, can you just talk about that a little bit, because we haven't mentioned it specifically, just so people are aware of that what else is going alongside the ensemble itself.
Yeah, sure. And then I'll come straight to you, Kathy. Yeah, so we're working in a lot of those settings in Surrey and also in West Sussex. And so we've built a great relationship with Lena, who's been really supportive of this work. And the aim of that work is to, as Lena said, look to help people with their mental health, with stress, and and even the staff in some of those settings. So we're continuing to do those work in what we call in hotels where there are asylum seekers, but also bridging hotels, which is more Afghan communities, people who already have refugee status. And I mean, me and Darren were on a Instagram live thing earlier, which I talk in a bit more detail exactly what we do musically. And Darren was asking how we make music inclusive. So I won't go on too much about that now, but we do a lot of facilitate big drum circles. We take in a whole load of instruments, and quite quickly, in often settings where it's quite segregated, you might have your sub-Saharan African communities in one area, and then Middle Eastern communities in a different area, and then Central Americas, and it's quite segregated. And quite quickly through music, and particularly drumming, we get everyone together, and quite quickly we've got a mix of rhythms from all different cultures, and very often 30 or 40 men all of a sudden dancing together in the middle of the room, and it's really high impact stuff. So some of that inclusion and mixing of music through this process is what we wanted to bring into the project, but importantly, not just leave it there. So we want to create our professional ensemble already has a percentage of players who have lived experience of displacement, but we also want to create routes from people from hotel and detention settings into the orchestra, and also vice versa, as Vicky was describing earlier. Yeah, so that's probably enough for now. I'm
just wondering if Sarah, if there's anything you want to add, because you're a great champion for that, for really recognizing the talents of musicians from the communities that we're serving and supporting them into the orchestra.
Sure. Hi, everyone. To just add to what Jim's just said, the depth of what he's saying is so strong. Some of the people that we meet in these hotels and bridging hotels are professional musicians, and some of them have said that they've actually escaped their countries because music is haram, they're unable to play. So anyone they come into contact with here often wants something from them. They don't have any agency. So when we turn up with instruments and we don't want anything from them, we would just love for them to share their culture, their music, their heart. It's almost like the first opening that they receive. And it's phenomenal feeling, so many emotions. But then to have this project, to be able to invite them to, and I'm sorry I was late to the call, but I don't know if you mentioned they were invited to the performance and they joined in at the end, and to actually see, it was the thing that a few of them had actually said, that would be the only thing I could dream of wanting, is to be on stage here and perform like I used to back at home. And that opportunity was presented to them. That just is unique and special, and to see the joy on their faces with everybody on that day was just phenomenal. So I'd echo everything you've said, and just spreading it. Somebody said earlier, it's reached its potential, and if it could spread, because there's so many more places where this is needed, so many more hotels, and it's continually coming and coming and coming. So
thanks, Sarah. And I think also that's why it's important for us to be able to be seen on important stages in this country, because we want to be able to give a platform to amazing artists who wouldn't get the opportunity otherwise, who might disappear into other jobs just for necessity. So part of our work is really to identify people, not only in communities that may have been displaced, but also in other parts of the country who may not have had an opportunity as well. So that is part of what we want to do, is to create these pathways from one setting into another setting.
Well, sorry, Kathy's been waiting patiently, but I just want to add, if I can, want to add one thing to that, because in this emerging sector of arts and supporting with and alongside people who've experienced displacement, there's, I think what's sometimes missed is the importance to work with those local communities. And whilst there's brilliant work happening with refugees and asylum seekers, with and for and alongside, there isn't, I think, enough that's happening to educate and to bring in local communities. And that's something we really want to aspire to do as well through the project. Kathy.
Well, just spoken less that I said that I can add, but I can definitely echo and in the first place to echo Lena's thanks. I mean, both the projects within hotels and that fantastic afternoon at Broadfield were just, well, the afternoon at Broadfield was kind of magical. And I think, I mean, your project, I Speak Music, kind of in a way says it all, because that music bridges so many different cultures. I mean, you know, you've got people being able to express joy and sorrow in music and all those sort of common human emotions. But I mean, it's hard unless you go into those hotels to explain quite how bleak it all is, and that there's really so very, very little for people to do. So, I mean, to see people sort of transformed into, you know, laughing, smiling. I mean, it's not all about joy. As I said, it also can be about expressing sorrow and sadness and all of that. But you know, I was privileged to take part in part of a drumming session once, and it was amazing to me, because my other sort of role in all of this is English teaching, and to see how you can teach without any words, you know, so there's nobody saying, okay, well, you play that drum while I play this drum, because we're doing it by echoing, and it's just so clever. It's sort of passing the music around. You know, that was just amazing, and so that was good to see it in practice, how it works, you know. So that was great. And I think, I mean, in terms of what else should you do, the question again is, well, more of it, keep doing it, and keep finding the funding. But what you just said at the end there, Jim, about sharing with communities, we find that really, really tough, because as we know, there is a hostile environment. It's hardly helped by the current government. And to kind of make yourself known, to put your head above the parapet without becoming a target, you know, it's very difficult, because we don't want to become fearful. We want to be proud and to say, look, you know, immigration of these people is a good thing. Surely diversity can be good and not all bad, you know, and it's all, we don't want these people. So music is a bridging way, so it's a very powerful tool that you can do this by. So yeah, so my main message really is thank you, and it's wonderful.
Thank you, Kathy. To pick up on that, we actually had an email a couple of weeks ago from Tracy, who runs Broadfield Community Centre, saying, when are you coming back? People are asking for you to come back, which was actually amazing for us, because we were only in Broadfield for 2 days, and it was only on the second day that we invited people in. So the fact that the ensemble was able to make enough of an impact in that community just in that short space of time shows us how much further we can go. And we had a wonderful, on our final day on the Friday, we had group of 3-year-olds came in from the nursery that was just down the corridor. These gorgeous little kids just came, kind of sat on the floor and watched our rehearsal with these like big wide eyes, which was an amazing moment. And then we also invited in a group of special needs adults who came to join us and were part of the performance, and members